Yes, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the today class of the law of insurance. Today I'm going to deal the law of insurance and indemnity, law of insurance and the contingent contract, law of insurance and wagering agreements. These are the things that which I am going to deal today, and I will see that how much I could finish it today. So the contract of indemnity versus the insurance. Then we will say the study of the principle of indemnity with the respect to the insurance is of the much importance as insurance is a social security and indemnity in the insurance compensate the beneficiary of the policies for their actual economic losses up to the limiting amount of the insurance policy. The purpose of the people are making the insurance is whatever the losses which are incurred or then to because of the untoward incidents, unpredicted things that will be compensated. In other words, we can the insurer should have to indemnify the losses. So that is only the relation between the indemnity and the insurance contract. And I already told you that for general insurance, there is the indemnification is there. Means one can indemnify it. For the life insurance, just give me the answer. For the life insurance, if you don't know, you say the pass on, I will give you the answer. For the life insurance, whether there is an indemnification or indemnified by the insurer, if you don't know, you can say the pass on, I will give you the answer. But don't waste the time. Are you hearing me? Again, the another problem is there. Unmute and give me the answer. Are you hearing me? Sandhya Rani, I could see you that you joined over there.
Yes, sir.
Did you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you read it at least from here? From here, if it is an assurance that is sum of money, from there can you read?
Yes, sir. If it is an insurance that a sum of money will be paid to the person insured if a particular event happened. Insurance business and the need for the insurance cover are growing with the growing complexity of life, trade and commerce, and consequently there is now bewildering variety of insurance covers. So it is essential that to know what are the essentials and exceptions attached to principles of indemnity and insurance.
Yes, because the indemnification, I already told you to. If any untoward incident happened to the insured, at that instance, the loss will be indemnified by the insurer. That is the reason the insurance contracts are nothing but indemnifying contract. There is a relation should be there. Then I asked just now, A.V. Rao joined, but he said that he could not see it, my screen, but you are hearing me. But it is you only made it very much clear that you could see the screen. So that is the reason that there may be some fault with his mobile gadget. Yes, now let us see that insurance is for the life insurance there is no indemnification. That means we cannot determine or ascertain the value of the life. That's why it cannot be indemnified, but only the term basis would be there and the amount fixed would be there. That will be the life insurance. So insurance and guarantee are the species of the same genus. Insurance and guarantee are the species of the same genus, that is the indemnity. Or in other words, the contract of insurance and the contract guarantee are the development and the contract in indemnity. So they are only the species of the same genus. Which one? Insurance company and in guarantee, and this is a contract of indemnity. Similarly, the doctrine of subrogation has been introduced to carry out the fundamental rule of the indemnity, because we have seen that principle of insurance, there is subrogation, contribution, utmost good faith. These are the things that we discussed, total number 7 or 8, including that is the Latin terminology, oberum fide. That is nothing but the English equivalent is good faith. So every contract of insurance except the life insurance, I repeat, every contract of insurance except the life insurance, that is the life assurance, is a contract of indemnity and no more than an indemnity. So life insurance is not indemnifying contract. Only the general insurance is only the indemnifying contract. So let us see the contract of life insurance, for instance, may provide the payment of a certain sum of money either on the death on a person or in the expiry of the stipulated period of time, even if the assured is still alive. Mhm. So that is the thing. So in this case, the Indian Contract Act does not specifically provide that there can be no implied contract of indemnity. So it is very much clear that the class is going on now, and I am sure that you are hearing me. So are you hearing me? So meaning of contract of indemnity. Meaning of contract of indemnity. Yeah, let us see that meaning of contract of indemnity. Contract of indemnity is a special kind of contract. It is a special type of contract. The contract of indemnity is a special kind of contract. The term indemnity is literally means security or protection against the loss or compensation according to section 124 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. And every day, I could see my screen and you not joined. There is a problem in your only mobile. There is no problem because Sandhya Rani joined and she has given the response also. Sandhya Rani, are you hearing me? Sandhya Rani, are you hearing me? If you are hearing, you can give me the answer and you can say that, yes, sir, I am hearing you. Because my signals are very okay. There is no problem in signals. And I'm shared the screen also. There is no problem in my side. So there may be the problem from your side only. So that is the reason that you could not give the answer to my questions. Yes, you can unmute and give me the answer because there is no problem from my side. Because frequency is good and I'm sharing the file also and you are hearing me. Is it? Say,
Yes,
is
sir.
it? Yes, because sometimes you disappeared from the participants list. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Now let us continue it. Example, let us see that how the, can you see, read the example which I posted here? Can you read the example which I posted over here?
Example, P contracts to indemnity Q against the consequences of any proceedings which or may take against Q in respect of certain sum of money.
Yes, P contracts to indemnify Q. Who is indemnified here? Q is indemnified or P is indemnified? Yes? Who
Sir,
is indemnified
P
here?
contracts to indemnify, sir.
Who will be indemnified here?
Sir, Q, sir.
Q is indemnified, and
Yes,
indemnifier
sir.
is P against the consequences of any proceeding which R may take against Q. If R make any consequences, if any danger, loss of it, or looting, or sabotage, or riot, whatever the R will do it against the Q in respect of certain sum of money. So if R makes a certain things, then P indemnifies the loss to the Q. So P is the insurer and the Q is the insured and R is the untoward incident. Is it clear? Is it clear? Say yes. Oh, so now it is even now it is disconnected. Okay, there is a problem that you are facing. Just now it is disconnected. Yeah, now I am correcting it. Yes, it is corrected. Now you can participate in it. Yes, it is corrected already. Are you hearing me? Sandharani, Sukumar, it is already corrected now. It is already corrected now. Could you unmute?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is already because it is disconnected for a while. So, object of the contract of indemnity means the object of entering into a contract of indemnity is to protect the promisee against the unanticipated losses. So promisor will protect the promisee. P. Sukumar, you have to unmute
Yes, sir.
and yeah, you have to mute it because of your personal sound. I could hear you. Your personal sound, I could hear you say you mute it unless until I say unmute and give me the answer. So here, the objective of the contract of indemnity is the objective of the entering into a contract indemnify is to protect the promisee against the unanticipated losses. That is the theory or the object of indemnity. Then who are the parties to the contract of indemnity? Can you read it? Unmute and read who are the parties to the contract of indemnity.
A contract of indemnity has two parties, the promisor or indemnifier.
Yes, the promisor or indemnifier. Next.
The promisee or the indemnified or indemnity holder.
Yes, the
The
promisee
promisor,
or the indemnified or the indemnity holder. That is the second one. Third one.
the promisor or indemnifier, he is the person who promises to bear the loss.
Yes, that is the
It is
promisor
the
or indemnifier and who promises to bear the losses. Number the fourth one.
fourth one, the promisee or the indemnified or indemnity holder. He is the person whose loss is covered or who are compensated.
See, these are all the terminology. Only how many players are there here? How many parties are there here?
Two parties, sir.
Only two parties. Either you can say promisee, or you can say indemnified, or you can say indemnity holder. The person who makes the promise is called indemnifier, and the promisee is indemnified. Only these are the parties who are there. In the above stated example, P is the indemnifier or promisor, as he promised to bear the loss of Q, as I told you in the earlier. And Q is the promisee or the indemnified or indemnified holder, as his loss is covered by the P. So essential of the contract indemnity is party to a contract. Who are they? There must be two parties, namely promisor or indemnifier, and the promisee or indemnified, or we can say the indemnity holder also. Then protection of the loss. A contract of indemnity is entered into for the purpose of the protecting the promisee from the loss. The loss may be the cause due to the conduct of the promisor or any other person. Well, who are the any other person here? Anyone? If you know it,
Here
give
the
me the answer.
promisor is an sir indemnifier, sir.
See, I told you already. Either the cause is made by the indemnifier or other person. Who are the other persons here? Yes.
Indemnifier or promisor, sir.
See, I already told you untoward incident either caused by the theft, caused by the robbery, caused by the dacoity, caused by the act of God, caused by the man-made activities, caused by the any other things which you cannot predict. So all other things will come over there. Is it clear?
Okay,
Say
sir.
yes. Okay. Then let us see the what is the express or implied one. The contract of indemnities may be express or made with the word spoken or written or implied, inferred from the conduct of the parties or circumstances of the particular case. So these are the both the things. Either it is the written form, it is expressed. Either by the conduct, it is implied. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you give me one example for the implied contract? Can you give me one example of the implied contract so that I could know that you know what is the implied contract? If you don't know, you say just pass on. I will give you the answer. Quick. If you don't know, you can give me the answer. You can say that pass on. Don't waste the time. Okay, again. चले जा रहा ना रमिया बार बार डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा रमिया डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा बहुत सता रहा हाँ बोला रिसेट हॉटस्पॉट बोल रहा मतलब बच्चे के इतने जवाब दे रहे. Yes, are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we are hearing, sir.
Yeah, the point is, no, this is I'm running my today class with the on that my mobile data. So the mobile data is not sufficient, it seems, because in some other place there is a reason that I'm facing a lot of problem, because here I don't have any Wi-Fi facility here. But I try to eat, because I told you that if I don't teach, that my food will not be digested. Okay, I asked you, what is the implied contract? Can you give me one example? If you know it, you can give me. If you don't know it, you say pass on.
Any written document, sir?
I say implied contract. Express contract is a written document.
Pass on, sir.
Why you are taking that much time if you don't know it? Anyway, implied contract means, suppose if you boarded the bus, impliedly you are giving the consent that you are going to buy the ticket. Suppose if you are going to the restaurant, implied it gives the contract that you are paying the amount. Once you ate it and later you have to pay it. These are called implied contract. Okay, essential of the valid contract, everybody knows it. What are the essential of the valid contract? Can anybody will give me the answer?
7 points are there, sir.
At least say some few of them.
Age of the parties, sir.
Go ahead.
Age of the parties and
Offer, acceptance, consideration.
yes, sir.
Intention to make
Consideration.
the clear, intention to make the, what is it? It is not a puff. Intention to create the legal relationship. Object. So these are all the essential for the contract. Whatever the essential for the contract will be there, the same would be applicable to the insurance contract. So number of contracts, a contract of indemnity, there are only one contract that is between the indemnifier and indemnified. Indemnifier. Okay, in the law of insurance, who is the indemnifier? Yes. In the law of insurance, who is the person who is the indemnifier?
Insurer, sir.
Why you are taking that much time to give the answer? And indemnified. Who are the indemnified in the law of insurance?
The customer, sir.
Don't say customer, client, policy holder. Or you can say insured. Is it? Please say in the terminology, not in the layman terminology. Okay. So
yes, sir.
The promisee, indemnified, indemnity holder, these are all the things there. There the sections also given. Section 120 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, the following rights are available to the promisee, that is the indemnified or indemnify holder. Yes, but a Professor Hussain students will not read like this. Can a Professor Hussain student, how they read? Yes, promisee. Here I am highlighting it.
Yes, sir. Promisee, the indemnified or the indemnity holder.
No, Professor Hussain student will not read in that way. Anyone?
Sir, promisee, virgule, the indemnified, virgule, the indemnity holder.
Yes, that is the way of the Professor Hussain students will read. Promisee, virgule, the indemnified, virgule, indemnity holder, against the promiser, virgule, indemnifier, provided he has acted within the scope of his authority. That is the way of reading of the Professor Hussain student. Okay, right to recover the damage paid in the suit, that is section 125, subsection 1. An indemnifier holder has the right to recover from the indemnifier all the damages which he may be compelled to pay in any suit in respect of any matter to which the contract of indemnity is applied. It is only the self-explanatory. That's why I am running with a high speed like a bullet train. Right to recover the cost incurred in defending the suit, that is section 125, subsection 2. These are all the sections are given over there. It is self-explanatory, and we can just read it and fade. And who are the having the right, and who is the having the duty. So commensurate as the liability of the promisor and indemnifier. So, and according to the Indian Contract Act does not provide the time for the commencement of the indemnifier's liability under the contract of indemnity, but different high courts in India have held the following rules in that regard. Indemnifier means insurer is not liable until the indemnified has suffered the loss. Who is the indemnified? Means the policy holder suffered the loss over there, and then only the insurer will come to the rescue of the insured. Indemnified can compel the indemnifier to make the good his loss, although he has not discharged his liability. Here, the person who has got injured or the policy holder can compel the indemnifier, that is the insurer, to make a good his loss, although he has not discharged his liability. So the discharge of liability is very much important factor. So one of the case law, the leading case law, Gajanan Moreshwar versus Moreshwar Madan, and an observation was made by the judge that if the indemnified has incurred the liability, means the policy holder incurred the liability and the liability is absolute, and he is entitled to call upon the indemnifier to save him from the liability to pay it off. Then he can tap the door of the indemnifier, then you say, come to my rescue to protect me financially. So thus the contract of immunity is a special contract in which one party to contract, that is the indemnifier, promises to save the other, that is indemnified, which is nothing but the policy holder, from the loss caused to him by the conduct of the promisor himself or by the conduct of any other person. That is section 124 and 125 of the Indian Contract Act 1872 are applicable to those this type of contract. Of course, there is a history already given over there, the case law. Then another case law, State Bank of India, and another versus Mula Sahkari and Shakar Karkhana Limited. That is another case law where a document as well known must be construed on the basis of the terms and conditions contained therein. It is also a trait that while constructing the document, the court shall supply any words which are author thereof did not use it. The document in question is a commercial document. Suppose in case the document made way over there, suppose any word which is missing over there, but it can be construed because it gives a sense to the parties that it should be considered by the court, and the court will insert the word. It does not on its face contain any ambiguity. When there is no any ambiguity, it can be made over there. The High Court itself said that ex officio, ex facie, the document appears to be a contract of indemnity. Surrounding circumstances are relevant for the construction of the document only if any ambiguity exists therein and not otherwise. So the court will explain it when there is an ambiguity in the contract. If there is no clarity would be there, then the court will not interfere. Court will take as it is what is written over there. So that was that decided in the case law. Then contract of insurance, I already told you, it is nothing but the contract of the contract between the two parties. Who are the two parties in the insurance? Yes? Unmute and give me the answer. Who are the two parties in the insurance, law of insurance?
Insurer and insurance.
Another word? Another word, synonym.
Policy holder.
You have to say the two words. When you say
Sir, insurer and policy holder, sir.
you have to say indemnifier and indemnified.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Indemnifier and indemnified, sir.
That is the way you have to say it. So now, of course, these are all the things are there. The elements of a special contract in relation to the insurance. Number one, indemnity should be there. Number two, insurable interest is there. Number three, utmost good faith is there. These are nothing but the principle of law of insurance. And number five, four, subrogation is there. Number five, assignment and nomination. 6, warranties. 7, proximate cause. And the last 8, return of premium. These are all we discussed in the first class. Nothing but under the caption, general principle of law of insurance. Then relationship between the contract and indemnity and the contract of insurance. Let us say, what is the relationship would be there? Yes, what is the relationship? Anyone can give me the answer? Law of insurance and indemnity contract. Yes. What is the relation would be there? It is nothing but indemnifier and indemnified. The same thing, law of insurance, where the two parties, promisor and promisee. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Then why you are keeping quiet? When I asked what is the relationship between the two, it is clearly indemnity is the insurance of compensation. The beneficiary of the policies for their actual economic losses up to the limiting amount of the insurance policy. It generally requires the insured to prove the amount of its loss before it can recover it. Who has to prove he wants to recover it? Who has to prove you want to recover the amount from the insurer?
Client, sir.
Don't say client, customer. You say policy holder or insured, or you can say indemnified. Repeat. Repeat.
Policy holder, insured,
Indemnified.
I appreciate. You could remember it at least. Okay, I appreciate it. So most business interruption insurance policies contain an extended period of indemnity investment, which extend to coverage beyond the time that it takes to physically restore the property. These provisions cover the additional expenses that allow the business to return prosperity and help the business restore the revenue pre-loss level. Suppose in the within time limit that insured did not file a case or brought to the notice of the insurer, can it will be time barred?
yes, sir.
Answer: if you show the reason behind it, then it can be condoned. What is condoned? What is condoned? Time barred is condoned.
In fact.
Law of limitation is condoned. These are all simple things. So now position India, the same section 125 will apply it. Indemnifier would be there, and United India Insurance Company versus Mrs. Aman Singh Munshi Law, that is the case law. The cover note stipulated the delivery of the to the consignor. Moreover, on its way, the destination of the goods were to be stored in a godown and thereafter to be carried to the destination. When the goods were in the godown, the goods were destroyed by fire. It was held that the goods were destroyed during the transit, and the insurer was liable to as per the insurance contract. In case suppose the goods are insured over there and there is a there is a exigency would be there to keep the goods in the godown. In the godown, the fire has occurred over there, but still it can deem it that the goods were destroyed in the transit. That is the explanation given in under the 124 case section. So by the conduct of the promisor himself or by the conduct of any other person. So definition given in the section 124 is very narrow. It includes only express promises to indemnify, and the loss caused by the conduct of the promisor or any other person, however, it does not include. Okay, it does not include what? Implied promises to indemnify it, and has caused the accident by the event not dependent upon the conduct of the promisor or any other person. So these are the few things where it can be made who is be liable and who is not liable. So now when you say that thing, contract law of insurance is nothing but, yes, law of insurance is nothing but,
A contract, sir.
no, indemnified contract you have to say.
Okay, sir.
Is it refers to the both two types of the contract law of insurance? Two category of law of insurance. What are they? Number one, life insurance.
General insurance and life insurance.
You have to start with the life insurance, then you say general insurance. Okay, doesn't matter. Whether the law of indemnity will be applicable to the law of insurance, means insurance, life insurance contract.
Maybe, sir.
Pardon?
Maybe, sir. Maybe
Why
it is
maybe?
applied.
You have to give the correct answer. Anyone? Anyone? I will say pass on.
Pass on, sir.
I already told you, we cannot measure the money in the terms of money, the life of a person. That means contracted indemnity will not be applicable to the life insurance contract. It will be applicable only to the
General insurance.
general insurance only. So that's why that we can, I have given the table also to you, the differences between the life insurance and general insurance. So these are the things which I want to make it out, but I will show you now the another table which is clearly mentioned. Could you see that this table
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
is visible? Okay, can you read it? The first one, factors in the right hand side. Sorry, to my left hand side. Contingent
Meaning.
contracts in the middle. Wagering contracts in the last right hand. Yes. Can you read the meaning in the contingent contract?
It is a contract to do or not to do something with reference to a collateral event happening or not happening.
So contingent contract means either may happen or may not happen. Something with relevant to collateral event happening or not happening, but not impossible. Please note that it's not impossible. But wagering contract, can read the wagering contract, Bennett, what is given?
It is a promise to give money or monies worth with reference to uncertain event happening or not happening.
So it is also a promise to give money or money's worth with reference to an uncertain event happening or not happening. Now the question, the meaning is the same in one way, in another way. But reciprocal promises means it may not contain the reciprocal promise. Here, contingent contract doesn't have the reciprocal promise, but it consists of the reciprocal promise because it is clearly made it here. Either the worth or the money. But one thing is that wagering contract is valid or wagering contract is void. Yes?
Yes, sir.
If you don't know, you say pass on. I will give you the answer.
Pass on, sir.
Wagering
Sir, not
contracts are
happening in the wager,
void.
sir.
I repeat, wagering contracts are void. VOID, void. Example? If you don't know, please say pass on. Don't kill the time.
Pass on, sir.
Gambling,
Yes, 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 sir.
betting. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, reciprocal promises are over. Now, next to the uncertain event. The event is collateral here in the contingent contract. The uncertain event is core factor. There should be a definitely an uncertain event in the core factor would be there in the wagering contract. Nature of contract. Contingent contract may not be wagering in nature. See, the word is contingent contract may not be wagering in nature, but a wagering agreement is essentially a contingent in nature. So now we can say that all wagering contracts are contingent contracts. Yes? Answer no.
No, sir.
But all contingent contract may be the wagering contracts. So now let us see that how interest of the parties are there. Contracting parties have interest in the subject matter in the contingent contract here. Here the parties are interest in the contingent subject matter, but here in the gambling contract, the wagering contract, they are not interested in that. They are interested only in the money. Who won, who lost. But subject matter, they are not interested. And where the insured is there. Is there any insured subject here in the gambling?
No, sir.
Only winning
No,
and
sir.
losing. Only winning and losing. There is no interest of subject. But here, suppose if you pass an examination, I will buy you a car. Of course, it is a social contract, no doubt. But if such a condition happen over there, okay, I will give you that this much amount to you. If that condition happens, that you are supposed to give it. Because there is a subject matter is there, which is insured over there. So mutuality of loss and gain, contingent contract is not a based on the doctrine of mutuality of the loss and gain. No. Contingent contract will not be there. But the wagering contract is a game. Losing and gaining alone matter. Here, subject matter will come over there. But there is no question of losing and gaining because only contingency is there. Condition happened, condition happened, not happened. Effect of a contract. Contingent contract is valid and a wagering agreement is why you are keeping quiet? Could not hear you. But signals are there.
Yes, sir. Here, there.
But why you are not giving the answer? Because already it is put it on the screen also.
Wagering agreement is void.
But why you are not giving the answer? Wagering agreement is. It means you have to fill the blanks with the following words. But you are taking time and giving the answer now. Okay, doesn't matter. Late is better than never. Could you be able to see this one?
Yes, sir.
Can you read basis enforceable, insurance and wagering?
Wagering. First one, enforceable. A contract of insurance is legal and enforceable at law. A wagering contract has no enforceability.
I already posted to your group also this thing.
Okay,
Is
sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
Why you are not giving? You have to say yes. Is it means did I post it or not? That's my point. Okay, utmost. In every insurance contract, duty of the utmost good faith is to be observed in the insurance. What is the utmost good faith in the Latin terminology? If you know, you tell me. If you don't know, you say pass on. I will give the answer for that one.
Pass on.
Oberum fede. So in the wagering contract, no such a duty is observed in a wagering contract. No. Because in the insurance contract, every information should be revealed to the other party. In the same manner, other party should reveal every information to the opposite party. Means insurer to the insured or insured to the insurer. Protection. Let us see the protection where my cursor is there. Insurance contract provides the protection here, insurance. But wagering contract does not provide the protection because they are only winning or losing. No protection to the injured. So insurable here. Insurable interest must exist in every insurance contract because they are having the interest in that insurance. One example I will give you that. If you want to insure your house and you have the insurable interest, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you insure the neighbor's house?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Unless until vested interest is there. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So no vested interest should be there in the insurance because insurance contract doesn't have that. Insurable interest is there. But here in the wagering agreement, no insurable interest exists in a wagering contract because what they are more worried about? Stake money, bet money, winning and losing. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate. Now let us see the another is indemnity. So the principle of indemnity applies to the every insurance contract. Is it true? Is it true?
Yes, sir.
No. Because
Sir,
I already told
insurance,
you,
sir, the principle of indemnity.
life insurance is not indemnified, I told.
Oh,
Other insurance can be, general insurance can be. So here it is.
general insurance.
The principle of indemnity applies to every insurance contract provided except life insurance contract. You have to write that in the within parentheses. Within parentheses, except life insurance contract. Yes. No such principle is applied to a wagering contract. No indemnity is there. Either loser or a winner. Okay, happening of event. An issued event may or may not happen at all except in life insurance. Sir, in the life insurance, may or may not happen means no, death definitely may happen sooner or later. But in the here, either the incident may happen or may not happen. But life insurance definitely. Why you are not filling the blank? I told you just now. In the life insurance, the happening is definitely. What is that happening in the life insurance? Oh, it's disconnected again. Yes, now you are hearing me. Because I told you, no, I'm running with my mobile data, so that's why a lot of disconnection will be there. I told you already that I'm running today
Sir,
class
which
with my
sir?
mobile
Yeah,
data. That's the
Manira.
reason that there are a lot of disconnections would be there, because here the
Yes, sir.
signals are very weak, and that is the reason that I could not properly made it out. Okay, next come to the happening of event means in the death sentence, death is definitely going to happen today or tomorrow. An insured event may or may not be happen all except in the life insurance. The event is bound to happen in the wagering instrument. Winning and losing definitely will happen. Sir, what is that? Draw. It will not be there. Can you draw to be there in the game? Say yes or no.
No, sir.
If the same they are running, the same goals they did in the football, then what the umpire will do? The extra kicks he will give. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Good, I appreciate. Immunity. In an insurance contract, the insured is immune from the loss provided it is adequate. An insurance contract, the insured is immune from the loss provided it is adequate. So, suppose the adequate he received it, naturally he cannot ask for the more. But in wagering contract, either party may win or lose. Here the winning and losing will be there. Here it will be compensated. What is the object? The object of insurance is to provide the protection. Protection of what? Umbrella from the rain?
No, sir.
Yes, that is the protection. Protection means whatever the financial loss you incurred, that will be recompensated. You will be bring back to the original position. So that is the financial protection. Then the object of the wagering agreement is to win or lose. There is no such a thing. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So these are the things which I want to share today. Now the time is 7 o'clock, but out because closing and yes, conclusion. You read it now. Conclusion.
Indian Contract Act does not specifically provide that there can be an implied contract of indemnity. The Privy Council has, however, recognized an implied contract of indemnity, also Secretary of the State versus the Bank of India Limited.
That is the case law. Proceed.
The Law Commission of India, in its report, has recommended amendment of the section 124. According to its recommendation, the definition of the contract of indemnity in section 124 be expanded to include the cases of loss caused by the events which may or may not depend upon the conduct of any person. It should also provide clearly that the promise may also be implied.
You did not read like a Professor Hussain student. Because I told you no, how I read. The Law Commission of India, its report, within parentheses, 13 report 1958 and the Indian Contract Act 1872 has recommended the amendment of section 124. According to its recommendation, the definition of the contract of indemnity in section 124 may be expanded to include the cases of loss caused by events which may or may not depend upon the conduct of any person. It should also provide clearly that the promise may also be implied. So, to conclude, logically, it is also true that indemnity has been embedded in the concept of insurance as well as the concept of guarantee. Insurance and guarantee are the species of the same genus, and the indemnity are, in other words, the contract of insurance and the contract of guarantee or the development of the contract of indemnity. Of course, Brett has given some other example for that one. So we can see the one of the United India Insurance versus Aman Singh Munshi Lal, the cover notes stipulated the delivery of the consignor. This already did it. I did this case law. So now let us made some suggestions also here. Indian Contract Act does not specifically provide that there can be no implied contract of indemnity. The Privy Council has, however, recognized the implied contract of indemnity in the Secretary of State versus the Bank of India Limited. Just now you also read it, and the yes, in the last what I want to share is there are list of the cases are given. I think it is preferably to add the Act of English Common Law principle that which have been applied to our court of nearly to the century, so that it may not be necessary to refer to the English law in many cases. The formulation of this principle is thus one of the object of the revision of the undertaken by me. So what I want to say is English class sometimes is not very much suitable to Indian situations. So that's why we can modify it. And the 3 points we should have to remember it to see whether it is suit to the Indian culture or not. Number 1, justice. Number 2, equity. Number 3, good conscience. It's a blanket class. So with this, I don't know whether I could record it not because there are so many slips between the hand to mouth today. What I said? There are so many slips between hand to
So many.
mouth because of the no proper Wi-Fi facility is not available. But as I told you that I could not feel very well or comfortable if I don't teach the class. So with this, that I would like to wind it up, and I don't think that today you could hear the YouTube class except the direct class. Thank you very much. And tomorrow, yes, what is the tomorrow? Sir, tomorrow do you take the class or same thing will happen again?
Sunday.
Eh? Tomorrow,
Thank you, sir.
can I give the holiday tomorrow? Because
As you wish, sir.
I did not have the Wi-Fi facility tomorrow. Again, the same thing will may happen. So tomorrow you can enjoy it the holiday because generally when I start the classes there is no Sunday, Monday to me. Okay, tomorrow
Thank you,
is the
sir.
holiday. Tomorrow is the holiday. Then we can see the other things which will be there because we have principle of good faith. We already dealt it, but we elaborately will discuss the principle of good faith on Monday. So with this, I would like to wind it out. Thank you very much for your patient listening.